Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. We have not seen each other in forever. So right now we are catching up. Hello, Alicia.
There are not enough minutes in the day for us to catch up on all of the things. Do you know what makes me really sad when we don't see each other? Is that I know there's things that I've thought that I won't ever tell you.
I see.
Because it just won't take priority every single last thought. And there's things missed.
Okay, so how can we fix this? Do we feel like we should start a note on your phone of things like you literally, and we start this habit, we're going to miss some at the beginning, but if we start this habit quite early, we can maybe build some good momentum where we literally don't forget thoughts to talk to each other about. Because right now, I have so much to share with you, but then I'm like, well, sometimes we press end and I'm like, shit, this whole topic we have not talked about. And it's not okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay, especially with me going away. The time difference, it's just going to be hard.
For a long time as well. Like that's 3 weeks. I'm really sad about this.
So where are we going to start? Are you going to tell us about your trip to that wedding? Should we do that on one podcast and then maybe I'll update my life on the next podcast?
Oh
Let's
my
make
God,
this one Josee.
Let's just go and see how long this is going to last, and kind of where this goes. Okay, so this was that was late July, early August, but is there anything else we should be talking about before this wedding? Where did you go? You went on that camping trip, I think. Is there anything else? Like we kind of both did a few things here while in the last time that we spoke, but I can go straight into this wedding.
So many fun things that have happened.
You know what was really fun about being at the wedding and doing the reel and kind of like, this is my dress, was that a lot of people were like waiting for it because of the podcast. So I'm like, oh, we have such a good, we have a good community on our podcast of people that follow. And they're like, yes, girl, I knew that you were going to this wedding. Sometimes I talk to people that I don't know that listen to us or follow us. And they're like, I'm like, oh, and I'm going to this wedding this weekend. They're like, of course you are. We know where you're going. And I'm like, oh, you listen. That's fun.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure when I tell people about my life. I've had moments where friends come visit and they like ask me nothing about my life and I'm upset. And then I realize they know everything.
You know what? I do have a group of friends that never ask me anything when I see them. And I know they are followers. I know they support, like I see them comment on my stories. So clearly they watch my stories. So I'm like, that's why they don't ask anything. I'm like, how's this? How's that? And then it's just quiet. And I'm like, no one's asking me how I'm going, but it's fine. It's all good.
You're good. You're also so good at talking to other people.
Yes.
Sometimes people just like forget to ask someone,
You know what? You're good to do that with me. And then I don't reciprocate the question. You're always like, what's up? How was your weekend? And I just like, go, 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 go. And then you like, often you're like, Alicia, how was your weekend? So I feel like if the other person starts and lets me go, I go crazy. But if the person doesn't, then I'm like super attentive and I will ask all the questions and we don't have to talk about me. But if you start by asking me a question, I will definitely go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, you have to like wait until there's like a minute breath and then you got to get in there if you want a chance.
And that's if there is a minute breath, Alicia. Okay. So this was a trip where literally I felt like no one knew who I was, which was like so fun. It was beautiful. It was romantic. It was like, we had not been at a wedding since COVID. I mean, sorry if I went to your wedding since COVID and I'm forgetting, but like, I feel like I can't remember being at a wedding since COVID, honestly.
I don't think you have. I would love to go to a wedding. If anyone is listening and they know me and they're getting married soon, can you invite me to your wedding? I feel like we
don't even have to know us. You don't even have to know
and
us.
Imagine we're fun.
We are so fun. And people there did not seem to understand the no drinking. Like,
okay,
it was open bar and just like, it was, I feel like also that like those people, like they're very professional. And I feel like they all drink as like a lifestyle, kind of like my brother.
So tell me about because sometimes you drink. Did you just choose not to drink? Did they not have tequila shots? What made you make these choices?
I made the choice not to drink because I just didn't feel like it. I didn't need it. I did drink at the bar at the pool a few wow, I'm really struggling right now. I haven't spoken to you, so like I lost all of my English. Plus, I was in Quebec, so I just like was super French. Those not the daiquiris, the other one,
Pina
pina
colada?
colada. Yes. I even did some doubles and they weren't strong enough. So, I mean, this is still like a Fairmont. So they like want to charge you a bajillion dollars, but they barely put in anything in it. So it's not the same as like a restaurant where there's just like whatever, or you're somewhere and someone's serving you a drink. So I was quite disappointed because I'm like, if you want to charge me $25, please make me drunk right now. Okay. So drinking was not a big part of my vacation.
Okay.
Which we all know that it's never. Okay, so drive there was amazing, all good. Got to talk to Jeff about all the things. Did you see all the topics? I feel like I learned so much about the world and how it all works. So that was very satisfying. The
Okay,
drive
wait,
back.
I have a question about this. So do you make notes in your phone of questions to ask Jeff? Like, is there a note in your phone, Jeff?
There is a note that says like vacation or Quebec drive or whatever. And basically there was like, I'm not going to find it, but it's like Ukraine,
Right.
inflation,
Okay.
all these topics that I know are like a thing and a big deal
Yes.
right now in the world,
Yes.
but that
Yes.
I'm not really educated on. And I will not go out of my way to like Google. He's going to be basically whatever he knows, I will become what I know. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know more than him. And if I read something, I'm going to have so many questions. So I'm just going to take in the information that he has, which he like dumbs it down for me. And then I get to ask questions right away that I'm like, but what about this? So inflation, Ukraine, planet warming up. What is that? What is that called? The planet is warming. Global warming. There you go.
Okay.
Tesla, Elon Musk.
Okay.
Like, I just need to know, who are these people? Why do we talk about them? Like, it's like, he's like, you don't know who Elon Musk is? I'm like, not really. Like, I don't really know why he is who he is.
Right.
And then tell me more about him and where did it all start and what's his mission and why is he so bajillionaire and like, how did he get here and like all of that. And then I love a good update on Trump and just a little bit of politics in the States. I like to know a little bit of the US politics, how that's going. We have the abortion as well. Like, what's happening there? Like, what are they saying? Is it state by state? Why are the rules so different everywhere? So he really he like educates me on how the states are all different and how they all think different as well and how all of that. And then once we're done, we listen to his podcasts, which are The Journal and The Daily.
Okay.
So yeah. So, and then he just goes through the list. He's like, is there anything that you see that you're like interested in? So there's one about sheen and how it's pollutioning our earth, our planet. And then there was one on inflation. And so we had already talked about inflation, but he likes to listen on the topic. And so like we get to listen on topics and then I get to ask questions after, never in between. If I hit pause, he definitely does not like to be paused in the middle of a podcast. I learned that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly am envious of this situation. I think it's amazing. I think actually all of those topics, probably people listening are like, oh, I'd love to know more about that. I want to know more about that. And just to have a safe place where you can ask questions and not feel dumb. Safe-ish.
Safe-ish is what I was gonna say. But then so that was the 7-hour drive. Then we had a 11-hour drive back. Now we've talked about all the things, Alicia.
Yeah. And you've spent the days together at this point.
Days, hours, days. So driving 11 hours back, I'm trying to just start any conversation. And he is just like over talking to me. And I'm like, so I'm looking at the time that's left and there's 8 hours and 23 minutes. Like it cannot be quiet for 8 hours and 23 minutes. Like we have to keep this going. So I'm like, I'm like, are you mad at me? Are you Picasso? And he's like, now I am. And then I'm like, and I'm like, I really need you to like me right now. Like, we really need to talk. And it's still, he's like, I have nothing. Like, yeah, he's given everything to me. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I'm driving at this point, and he plugs in his phone and he puts on this like really hilarious, it's more hilarious for French people, it's like it's something that's very common in the French community as a very funny video. So he puts the video on, and I'm like, why is he putting on this? Because I didn't understand where it was going. And then when I heard the part that's hilarious, I'm like, this is his way of being like, I'm not mad at you, let's laugh together, but I'm tired. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to answer more questions about inflation.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing, okay, let's go to that. Let's go to this topic. We can talk about my dress and everything later. But one topic that was interesting that I think that our members would definitely benefit from hearing is there's one podcast that was inflation.
I just thought of something and I didn't want to forget
Okay.
it. We'll talk about that later.
I'm like, tortillas. Okay, so it said that if you believe that inflation is here to stay, you will start behaving in a way that will not help inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And I obviously connected this to weight gain and or not feeling successful in your weight loss journey.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the politicians' best strategy to break inflation is to make people believe that it is not here to stay. Because
Okay.
if they don't believe that it's not here to stay, they will start behaving in a way that will help inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? So basically, they're using mindset to be able to change people's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, if we don't know what they don't know, people don't know how long this is here for, but they know that if people believe that it's here to stay, they will start changing the way they behave, and then actually behave in a way that's like going to make inflation stay, because they're planning for inflation long term, making inflation long term. So the way I connected it to me was like, you know, if I believe that, you know, the 4 or 5 pounds that I've gained or the weight gain that I got, if I believe this is it, this is all I can accomplish, oh my God, this is my new thing, and this is it forever, I'm going to start behaving in a way that pushes me to keep this weight gain and to not lose the weight again. So this is just 4 or 5 pounds, but think of someone that gains 20 or 30 or 50. If you actually believe, your beliefs really impact your behavior is literally the message here.
I think, yeah, people think that it's their actions that are creating the results, but it's often you actually believe that it's part of your identity, and then you act in a certain way. It's a psychology that you act in a way to back up that belief, and that cycle is what causes the results, not the actual what's happening itself.
And just that, obviously, that podcast was really showing the ripple effect of inflation, and how if one person does this, then it does this to the thing, and then blah, 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 and then it keeps going. So the cycle needs to break at one point, and it starts with us. And it starts with
is my online spending helping inflation? Am I doing my part?
You're doing great. You're spending your money, which is good. But at the same time, so we were listening to one podcast on inflation and the other one, and I said, well, I thought that inflation was that, you know, they're really upping the interest so that people stop borrowing money from the bank because the interest is so high. So they stop spending.
Yes.
So apparently in one podcast, it's like the pandemic made people spend more because like they're like buying a trailer, buying, because in different categories of things that they weren't before. But then this other podcast is like, well, the pandemic made people save more. So I'm like, which one is it? You know? So Jeff was like, definitely people did spend less in the pandemic than they would have not, but it certainly still has, it's like, it's not like all or nothing. It's not like this, everyone did the same thing with the pandemic. Everyone behaved differently depending on their situation before. Anyways, all that to say, for me, it was like, it really shows how like one of their main strategies right now, and they said that one of the main strategies right now is to make people believe, they're trying to convince people that this is not long term, because then people will not behave and get ready for it long term, because if you do that, then you don't help inflation to go away. So I was like, okay, how can I connect that to obviously weight loss, or just how we work on mindset, right?
Always.
Always. Okay, so we get there. We do one night in Quebec. Where we stayed was beautiful, everyone. It was called Le Capitole. It is very much downtown, so walking distance to Old Quebec. Old Quebec is beautiful, Alicia. It's just like you're in a little, like, it's very European. It's very like
Yeah.
little corners and cobblestone or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. Just so nice.
Yeah.
Hotel was beautiful. They even had fireworks that night. I don't know why. Oh, because the Pope was there. So they had
Right.
fireworks for the
The
Pope.
Pope, that must have been a big topic too. The Pope.
It was a big topic. I just realized how many churches there is in Quebec. I think they're more religious. There's a few things that I'm like, interesting. I think they just like are very, comme la catholique est vraiment gros. Oh, that's why the Pope is there. So that was very interesting. Also, Quebec men are very interesting.
I heard they were not afraid to tell you how gorgeous you were.
Not. So one, they love our accent. I've told you this so many times, and
Yeah.
I am like, it's actually insane.
Yeah.
And they hear you from another table, and then they like smile, like you can tell they really love our accent. They notice it right away. You're from New Brunswick. You're French from New Brunswick. Anyways, and they're always like, "Hey, t'es bella," like, "Hey, you're pretty." And I'm just like, would you see a New Brunswick man be like, "Hey, you're pretty"? Like, I feel like I've never had a random man tell me that on the side of the street. I've had at least 5 people tell me that while I was in Quebec. And very interesting. Not shy to like be like, and even one guy was like, I was wearing my jumpsuit, my red jumpsuit the day we were going home. And he's like, quel bel habit, like as in like basically love what you're wearing. And I was
Okay.
like, merci. And then he looks at Jeff and he's like, chanceux. Like, I'm like, yuck. Like, it's just too much. Like, not hiding the fact that, and I'm like, Josee, he could be my brother. Like, you don't know us. It's very interesting. I find it very sweet, like a charming, but I'm not sure everyone would be in the same boat. But at the same time, I'm just like all smiley and like, well, thank you so much. Like,
You're
sure,
also probably pretty welcoming, like
to the compliment.
strangers. Also, strangers speaking to you is your favorite thing. So you're probably secretly making eye contact with everyone in the room while having a conversation with Jeff. Does anyone want to talk to me though? Does anyone want to talk to me? Anyone looking at me? Anyone want to be my friend? You want to be my friend? I'm so fun.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, of course. Like a stranger wanting to talk to me and like make eye contact is my favorite thing. I'm like, oh, yay. Did you want to say something?
So is that why the drive home was so much longer? Because you stopped on the way there?
Okay. So yeah. So basically like if like the Quebec is not on the way there. Yeah, exactly. So Quebec is not on the way where the marriage was. It's
Gotcha.
a very big detour. So there's La Rivière Saint-Jean. I'm inventing this. People are yelling like that's not the Rivière.
Okay.
And so you go over, Quebec is here, and then the wedding was here. So we could have taken a ferry.
Okay.
But we did Quebec because we wanted to go to Quebec. We wanted a night away. And then that was like a 2-hour drive this way. Now, when the ferry was full, we had to go, you see. So going there was 11 hours, but it wasn't the same. Actually, was it 11 hours? 4 and 4. No, it was just 7 plus 2. But then we added another.
And you took time to drive to the ferry as well. And then they turned you around.
Yes, that was another hour. So 2 hours.
That's devastating.
It was all, I thought I was going to cry. Then I'm like, I saw Vanessa with her 2 kids because Jared's Vanessa's brother. So I was going to cry if I was her with 2 children, and you're just adding 4 hours to what you thought you were driving. 2 very small children. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's traumatic.
And it changes, like you'll arrive at 6 p.m. versus you'll arrive at midnight. Like it really was like not well thought out what we were thinking.
Okay.
Anyway, so very.
And when you're done, you just want to be home.
I know. Yeah.
You want to smell your children. You just want to be home. I get that.
And it was just the arriving at midnight. I was like, oh, and then like I couldn't even have my kids at home because I'm like, I'm not going to make my mom stay up until midnight at my house so that I have my kids at
Yeah.
home. Like, obviously take the kids
Yeah.
with one more night. Now it's been 5 nights.
Yeah.
Like, there's the guilt is more for my mom. Like, the kids are going to survive. I
Yes.
just always feel guilty for whoever's watching my kids. I'm like, just adding another
Yes.
night. Like, that's not
Yeah.
nice, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Best part of my trip are the people that were there. So, um, a girl from Moncton whom I never am friend, like I never hang out with. She was also invited to the wedding, but she's someone fun, like someone I know that is fun. And we had a blast together. And that was like, she just like added on to the trip where I felt like I had a friend, but it's like someone new that I don't usually hang out with. And she follows us. So she was like, if you need someone to take a video, if you need someone to take a picture of you, like she's the one that took the video for the reel. She's like, do you want to go do your reel? Like, I felt like she understands my work and was like so supportive and fun, and we laughed till we cried, because it was just like, you know, when you don't know someone and you tell old stories and then you cry, because anyways, so that was like, that was an add-on to the trip for sure, to have her there and to hang out. And she would invite me to brunch, and Jeff went to golf, and then I was like at a girls brunch with people that I didn't know with her, but everyone was so nice, on the same page.
So
Same page.
fun.
So fun.
Okay, I have a question about the open bar. So is that why Jeff was dancing so much?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Wasn't
Mhm.
he cute?
So
Wasn't he so cute?
he was so cute. So maybe the next day he was also not feeling 100% for that 11-hour drive.
Hilarious. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. He didn't really say anything. So we could have made the 9 a.m. ferry, but you have to be at the ferry an hour and a half before. So you have to be at the
Oof.
ferry at 7, but it's also a 30-minute drive. So like, it was just like how, like we had to wake up at like 6 a.m. if we wanted the morning after the wedding. We went to bed at 2 a.m. I just felt like that was not like a smart decision, or a good decision. But my friend from there, she did that and she was like, it was rough, but she was home at like 4 p.m. You know, so she was
Yeah.
like done. So, I mean, there are pros and cons here. And she also went to bed after us. Like we went to bed before her. So, and she had drank as well, but she's like, it is what it is. She got up, she did her thing. But with Jeff, I think it's important sleep, because he doesn't feel good usually after he drank, but he rocked it. Like he was like making sure, he was just so cute. He was having such a fun time. He had like good moves. He was so cute.
You guys were beautiful. I can't believe he did that transition reel with you. So proud.
So proud of him. Yeah, it was rough on
Yeah.
him. Like he like was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Just do this. Like it just takes a
Yeah.
second, you know. It
Mhm.
just takes a
Mhm.
second, Jeffrey.
Just 1 second.
Just 1 second. You just have to stand there and be pretty. You have to do nothing. You don't even have to edit the video. You just have to like be there, and people will love it. And people did like it.
Okay, tell us about the bride's dresses. I heard you say the bride has 2 dresses. And also, I don't feel like, I know probably you were respecting her to not put pictures of her on social media, but I'm going to need you to show me in secret or something, or I need to see more of this.
Okay, cool. So she had 2 beautiful dresses. The first one was off the shoulder. It had a slit, but it was puffy. Like not like it
Okay.
wasn't princess, but it did have a slit still. She was
Yep.
wearing sneakers. So I did not know what to expect. I do not know the bride to that extent. I don't know what her style is. I don't know what her vibe is. But you're getting married at the Fairmont. So like I wasn't sure, like that's her vibe, right? Like that's bougie. But I'm like, dress
Yeah.
is more like you know, what you're wearing. So I'm like, your clothing really represents like how you are. And I know she's not like you and I, that's like, can I wear something that I'm not sure if people are going to like it, but like, we just like want to look cool. You know, she's not, I don't think she like overthinks what she wears all the time. So I was thinking simple, and that is exactly the route she went with. It was different. It was a different material. It had like, I'll show you, it had like a pattern on her dress.
Mm.
So again, off the shoulders, kind of poofy with a slit, sneakers. Her hair was beautiful. Her makeup was beautiful. They have a little son, 9 months, called Toma. So cute. And he was there as well. And they've been together for a long time. I did not know any of the bridesmaids. I did not know any of, actually, like only my brother was one of the groomsmen, but it's not a group of people that I know, but it was just, people were so welcoming, so fun. Again, because we're Acadian, they're like, oh, this Acadien. They're just like so funny. And they love Jer. Jer's an Acadien, although it is from Lishibuktu. And sometimes he talks really French, because he's been there for so long, right? So I think he like kind of took their accent. We don't even try. I don't even know how to try. I don't even know how to like a little bit be more French. I don't know what my language is. I'm just all over the
Okay.
place. So, because I was telling that to them, I'm like, I work in English, my best friend's English, but when I speak to her, I still don't feel like it's my language, like I still, like when I go live, I still am like, eh. When I go live on anglais, I'm still like, mm. And when I go live on français, I'm still like, meh. It's like,
Huh.
because I'm trying really hard to be more French when I'm speaking French,
Yeah.
especially on video.
Yeah.
So I guess the only time I can be myself is like my family, like when I'm just when I'm just like talking, but yeah, anyways. And I was saying that to them, like, I'm like, right now I'm trying though, like really hard to be French though. And I just like,
Okay.
don't know the words, and when I'm talking English, I'm trying, I have to translate, I have to think about the terms, and I want to sound like I know my language, like I know English. Anyways, my friend whom I met there was like, I listen to you all the time, and I think that
Yeah,
you're
you're
like,
rocking it.
thank you.
You're rocking it.
But yeah, no. So what was we saying? Okay. And so we knew she had 2 dresses. I had heard of this. So when they came, they rocked the entrance, like it wasn't too long. They chose a really fun song. I don't remember what it is, but I have it on video. When they walked in, it was like funny, and let me say, like that was their song though.
Okay.
Then go up and they say, yeah, that song. And they were doing this. It was like really fun. It wasn't like a lovey-dovey song. So that was like, it
Okay.
was like a
Gotcha. It
club,
was a
like a
party
club
vibe.
party vibe.
Party
So I
vibe.
knew that it was going to be a good time. Music was good. Started slow. He was keeping it safe. I don't like when DJs keep it safe. I also don't like when I would DJ better than a DJ. I'm sorry.
Did you go over and speak to him? Excuse me, sir. Did you?
Absolutely. I definitely gave my advice. You should be more aggressive. J'ai dit plus agressif, like 50 Cent. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Mhm.
DMX. He was
Mm.
keeping it safe. Everything is the same beat, like
Okay.
keeping it too safe. Go
Okay.
aggressive.
Okay.
So I did 2 requests. He played them.
Amazing.
Not too much French music. I was like afraid that was going to be the vibe. Met some very interesting people. Everyone there is like a surgeon or like some sort of like person that is like in the medical field, because both of them are surgeons. Not Jer, but he is something else that is very fancy in the medical field. So many words, so many
Is he?
letters, and
He's not a dentist. Why? I thought he was a dentist. No.
no, he's a radiologist.
Oh, okay. And what is
Yeah.
she? A surgeon? What kind of a surgeon? Do we know?
Urologist.
Okay. Ooh, fun.
Penis doctor.
Penis.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did talk to her a bit about, not on this trip, but in the past, about Noah's, because he sees a
Right.
urologist, right? It was fun
Yes.
to like talk to her about it. She was like, get
Yeah.
the operation, because that's what she does, right?
Right.
So it's just like interesting to talk to someone else, and just like she was asking a lot of questions. But yeah, that is what she does. And
Okay.
so a lot of people working at the hospital were there.
Okay. Second dress. What was the second dress like?
Okay, second dress, beading on top,
Mhm.
loose, soft bottom. So
Okay.
very much like party fun dress, just like more simple, kind of like the typical second dress of a wedding. Are you hearing a child?
Yeah, Neil's not here and there's a weird noise, but everything's fine. I'll wait until I hear screaming. Okay. And were the bridesmaids dressed all in the same dress? Tell me about the bridesmaid vibe.
Okay, bridesmaid vibe at all. They all had the same color, same length, but
Mhm.
not the same cut on top. You know how they do that? One's
I
on
like
one
that.
shoulder. Yeah, I like that. I think that's really cute. At one point, I was really afraid because I came out with my long red dress, and Jer's sister was also wearing a long red dress, and I was like, shit, are the bridesmaid in red? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, imagine if the bridesmaid are in like bright, like the same red as me. And I was just like, it was just like awkward in that moment. And then another really good friend comes out with a long red dress. And I was like, are you guys bridesmaid? And they were like, no. And I was like, perfect. So there was 4 of us with long red dresses, the exact same red, like red. So we were like all 4 of us together. We took a picture with one of the other girls' phone, and she was like, these are the red dress bridesmaids. We are the red dress
Fun.
bride. It was super fun. Yeah. People were so fun.
Okay.
Poutine bar at midnight.
Oh, you
with
want a good wedding? Have some street food at midnight? Yes, please.
And there was like Quebec cheese, like the squishy cheese, like the
Yeah.
good cheese.
Curds,
Okay.
cheese curds.
Cheese curds and pulled pork, some with sauce, some with not. And if you wanted to put sauce after, you could.
Oh,
Sausages to put on top, like, or you could even put veggies. They had like roasted veggies and butter to put on top of your poutine if you like wanted that. I went 3 times. I think, and I'm like, you know what? Do not judge me, everyone, because all of you are so drunk. You went 5 times to the bar and I went 0 times to the bar.
Yes.
So I'm going to go 3 times to the poutine bar
Yeah.
and we don't judge anyone.
No, we don't.
And in my mind, I'm like, it was like a little bowl, like it was like this big. Like you put your
Okay.
poutine in there. So I'm like, really, I'm imagining this huge plate where I'm just like, big poutine, you know?
Yeah.
No one was eating the poutine. I was very upset.
Okay.
I was like trying to get people. I'm like, come on, is it just me that wants this? Probably, because everyone else is drunk and could not care less about the poutine.
Okay.
But the next morning saw the groom. He's like, did you guys have a chance to try the poutine? I'm like, excuse me, sir. I basically own that poutine bar. And he's like, I'm so happy that was worth something to someone, you know?
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, and I said to him, like, I don't drink. So the open bar wasn't like my thing, but the open poutine bar, that's where you got me. I was your best guest.
Okay. And was there like a meal? Was it like a sit down meal?
Sit down meal you had to choose before.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was good. And it was also, there was also an appetizer. So I got the salmon as a meal. It was delicious. And I got the scallop as an appetizer.
Wow.
There was also
Fancy.
also dessert. It was like this like bowl chocolate, whatever. I was, yeah, everything was good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate this one more time. Anyone that's listening, if you're getting married anytime soon, please invite Josee and I to your wedding. We will be your hype girls. I will go to your open bar. She will go to your poutine bar.
I mean, we are just the best duo ever. Like I truly
We really
believe that.
are.
We really are.
Same.
Okay, so it's been over 30 minutes. I feel like we've covered my end of the story. You know what, you guys, what we'll do is next time so Alicia and I are going to record tomorrow again, but this obviously the one we record tomorrow is going to come in a few days. We'll get to keep catching up. We're just going to catch up. But what you need to know is that our September launch is coming very, very soon. So please follow us on all of our platforms. You want to join Your Way Weight Loss this September because we have a 3-phase starter program for anyone that's starting new. So basically, it's a program to really get you on the right path, to guide you through what it's like to be a member of Your Way Weight Loss. Our 4-month membership is out. Like there's a lot happening. So you need to go in our link tree and look up at all the things. Send us a DM if you have any questions about joining. But we do think that this is a perfect time. We can finish the year strong together, work on your mindset, work on your relationship with food, work on your weight loss journey. Like we got this.
It's like my favorite time of year, I think, that September to December. I just am always feeling so inspired, motivated to kind of buckle down and focus on like my health. I'm always like, I've always put on a couple of summer pounds and I'm just like ready. I'm like already ready. And I'm super excited about the new program.
No, I agree. I feel the same way about September. I think for motivation, like not that we don't believe in motivation, but we feel like motivation is not really a thing. But if there is one time a year where I have that inner want is a little higher, just naturally, it's September more than January. January, I'm sometimes in a deep, dark depression, especially if we're on lockdown. I have not had a good January in at least 2-3 years. January, February are hard on me. Like,
I also think you're so impacted by the weather, and the lack of sunshine. I really think that gets to you.
It really does.
Especially if you don't have a trip planned.
There's something about it. Definitely excited about September. I'm also bringing our members along a journey. I haven't told you about this, but I will after this. I want to go on a journey to be able to create a tool with my experience.
Okay.
Maybe you'll join in with me. I'll invite you to join in.
You're just holding this secret inside?
Well, I mean, we can definitely share it right now. I don't mind at all.
Listen, this is just like the conversation we had with the Tim Hortons. And remember what happened there? You were like, I'm thinking about doing this thing. You don't have to. And I'm like, obviously I'm going to do it with you.
Okay, I'll just share and we'll see.
Okay.
So I think this is very possible. So I'd like to, how we created a tool to help people create awareness without tracking calories. Like, because we knew that we don't want people tracking calories. So we created a tool, you guys, called the 7-Day Lifestyle Challenge. And it's a great tool to create awareness around your behaviors. So the tool gets you to look into your behaviors, but also then gets you to look into your habits and into your mindset, hunger cues, and all of that. So that's the tool that we set aside for that, kind of replaces calorie tracking, calorie counting.
Yeah.
So that's the 7-Day Lifestyle Challenge. I'd love to be able to create some sort of way to lose weight without the scale, without having a scale, without having to know, because when people are like, how do you know you create a calorie deficit? I'm like, the scale will tell you. And I'd like to be able to create some sort, and I need to live it to see, like, I want to live it deep. Like, I'm trying to create a calorie deficit, like on purpose, intentional. Like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want the scale as a tool. How would one do that?
Okay.
What other things are they looking for that
Okay.
gives them, it's almost like I want to, if I take that tool out, are the other senses going to heighten?
Yes. I see it. I see it.
You see what I mean?
See it. I don't know if I can do it with you.
Okay, it's fine. But like, I don't think I want to embark on that journey for September,
Okay.
which is what I did. Remember last September where
Yes.
I got on a journey of no scale, just to
Yes.
see how I would feel. I'm definitely going to remind our members how I felt last September. I remember all of the things, but the intentions were different.
Yes.
Last time it was just to see how I would behave if I would gain weight. I had
Yep.
no goals. This time it is intentional calorie deficit without knowing what the scale is saying. How will that be, do you
I
see
can
it?
see how that would be so powerful because people do ask us, and there is something to be said about in touch with your hunger and like, how do you feel going to bed and how do you feel waking up? And like, and from years of experience, you and I definitely have an idea if we're in a deficit or not, but I see.
And I want to know, like, does it only work for someone like me because I have all that experience? Am I going to use my experience, or is it just moment? Is it just like, who cares about the experience? I have to live in the moment more than just like or am I using a lot of my awareness? Am I using a lot of my knowledge? What am I using? If I don't use the skill, what do I use?
Ooh, okay. This
See
is
what I'm saying?
exciting. Clearly, you're going to share everything with our members along the way.
Yes.
Every last
And
thought.
every last thought, but it's going to be more organized
Of
because I'm trying to
course.
create a tool.
Okay.
So like, I'm going to have to really be like, oh, I'm really using this. How can one use a tool to be able to track that? You
I
know what
like
I
this.
mean?
I like this.
You like it? Good. So I'm going to bring our members along that journey all of September, and
I love it.
hopefully have a really good tool for January.
Oh,
Like
this is super exciting.
how to lose weight without any sort of like how to really be who you want to be. And I know there's 1 minute left, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I really want to see if the skill impacts my behavior when you're trying to create weight loss. I know it does when I'm trying to create maintenance, and that's okay. It gives me leverage. But what about weight loss? And am I not being dramatic because of all my experience, or because I'm not a dramatic person, or because of my language? Or am I not being dramatic because I don't know, because I don't have access to it? Right? Is it because of what I know? Is it because of my mindset, or is it because I just don't know? I just like want to live that life, live that experience, and try to lose weight while doing that.
I can't wait to hear and see it with my very eyes.
All right. So there's a lot, as you see, guys, there's a lot coming to the membership in September. Please join us. Look at our link tree and find that link to join us. Have a great night, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.